Okay, I can do this.
The job ain't finished. The job ain't finished. Make sure you come ready to go this next week.
How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. I am your host, Nick Athan, alongside Lou Montagna. Hense Todd is talking to us via speakerphone. Apologize for the lateness. We are definitely having some technical issues, so we're going to do our best to get through it. So before we get started, here's a message about our corporate sponsors. If you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor, someone that's going to help you get through the process of either buying or selling a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody better than this man. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
Yeah, absolutely. Proud sponsor of Chiefs Who. And if you're looking for success in the health coverage industry, you need to call somebody that I love very much, care about, and knows their stuff. And that's my wife, Emily Athan. You can reach her 913-215-9086. If you're looking for flexible health coverage, whether you're an individual, self-employed, business owner, or part of a family, look no further. Even if you want a free consult, she's happy to help you out. So give her a call today. She can explain all the plans that are available, including access to a nationwide PPO network. So give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
Nicky loves Emily.
Nicky
loves Emily.
No question about it. Very lucky man, very blessed. And again, if you're looking for the best health coverage out there, this is where you go. She'll take great care of you. All right, gents.
You guys let me know that things were happening today. All I could picture is God is my witness is the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's house spinning through the air. Right, wind everywhere, tornadoes, no power, no internet. It's like Armageddon. Is everybody okay? Check in. Let's go. Hence, everything okay where you live?
Everything's okay. Just we had a little
the wicked witch didn't appear, did she?
with the internet. The internet came down, and I said I think it affect my area. I think Mango's drones came over in and ran into the towers over here to knock out the internet. So that's what I think will happen.
They're still floating around from the game last night at Arrowhead, right?
Right.
Mango drones.
And speaking of the game, it was a heck of a game yesterday. And the guys, it's one guy that's definitely going to make the roster, and I think the Chiefs Nation is banging a drum for this guy, and he played looking like Mike Allstar out there, you know what I mean? Or the alligator kid, aka the Thor's hammer, whoever you want to call him. Hey, I don't know. He probably looking to take somebody's job. I'm not saying he probably going to try to take hey, Pop look a little worried on the sideline to me. I'm just saying.
I think it would be hard for him not to be the RB2 fullback number one, just based on those performances. Now, again, it's going to be based on a lot of other things. Everything has happened through the spring and so forth, the other games, but it just seems like there's an energy around this kid that everybody gravitates towards. He, for lack of a better term, or we'll use Good Morning Football or Kyle Brandt term, he's an angry runner. Mm-hmm. So is it too much like Pops? I don't think so. No. I mean, he doesn't have a great 40. I think he ran like a 4.75 40, but it doesn't look like many people are catching. And if they do catch him, he's stiff arming him down into the dirt. So, yeah, you got to love the energy around him, and he shows more juice than anybody else that's been there. Prince, yeah, had a few good runs, but it really appears to me like Carson's kind of taking this opportunity and run, I guess for lack of a better term, or no pun intended, running with it.
Well, one of my favorite movies of all time is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So I think we have our own Spicoli now.
There you go.
So yes. I think that's my nickname for him. Yes. Just looks like a surfer. He's got a pet alligator. Listen, we talked about him the day after, where that evening of the draft, the next day, or
you got to give props to Nick. He really liked him.
I said this guy's going to make. Yeah, I said this guy's going to make the team. I thought he was terrific at UCLA. I saw him more as a running back than I did anything else, because what he did at UCLA was remarkable. I think it came from Ball State. And I think he's a good combination for Pops. Now, I'm still a little light, on the future of Pops, whether he can be that complete back that this offense needs. But clearly, Andy has now a guy who can run short yardage, a guy who can be a fullback. I mean, just look at the touchdown to Worthy back in the Lions game. He picked up the linebacker blitz. That's a rookie back there. He stood his ground. So I think it's going to be a tremendous addition. Just gives Patrick another weapon. And Patrick, I mean, the joy he had when he had that long run, and I still say it was a touchdown. Yeah. It was wonderful to watch. You're right. He's just engaged his team. He's kind of like, he's a young Travis Kelce. He's got a lot of attitude. He's got a lot of fire, a lot of spirit. He works his tail off. Andy was talking about him, and Nagy was talking about him from the very early stages. Even after the draft and the early part of camp, how special they thought this kid was. And he'll be number 2, depending on what they do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But the Chiefs, that's a good 1-2 combination for the Chiefs to have should the passing game break down a little bit, or they need to take time off the clock. They can just rotate these guys series to series and probably pick up 10 yards.
Yeah. You still like to have that Jet McKinnon type guy. And I don't think that person is on the roster right now. So depending on who gets cut around the league next week, you might see them, save a roster spot, or, just bring him in, and then somebody else, unfortunately, would get cut. But yeah, I mean, he's everything you'd want him to be. And again, the reason he didn't get drafted, and we can go through all the different metrics or whatever, the bottom line is he ran at 4.75 40 as a running back, and
but that don't look like it in the game, though. It don't.
Well, that's just it. But what I'm saying is, from a drafting perspective, that's probably why he was a little overlooked. And he had a ton of production at Ball State, a ton of production with Chip Kelly's offense at UCLA, and you could just see the heart of the kid. Right? You can't measure that. You can't put that on a piece of paper or a scouting report. Just, it's anecdotal, but you can see that dude runs with heart, and just everything he does is 100 miles an hour, and you got to love that kind of dude. And yeah, I would not be any worried at all if he was the running back number 2.
Kareem said he's the man of steel. You know what I mean? So everybody,
that's good, Kareem.
I like that, man of steel.
Everybody's
looking for this. I think it was his last name.
Yeah. Well, everybody's rooting for this kid. Hey, it seems like the kid popped up out of nowhere. Well, we got to read the comments because he's gonna keep moving the cameras. But yeah, but
I got the comments. We're good.
Okay, so yeah, but everything else is looking good for this team. I know everybody's still questioning that the cornerback spot. Joshua Williams went out there due to a hamstring. Jalen Watson got out there. He played,
he got
all throughout the game. But Like he was getting beat by some threes and practice squad guys.
Due respect to Jalen, it's his really first
game back
action, since the injury. We know what he is. Now we'll see if the injury slows him down or if that lingers, but that's more for the training staff and whatever. We know he can play, right? I think it was obvious that the Bears were certainly targeting Kelvin Joseph just about every play, right? And I don't know if it was just that I can't remember the name of the receiver, but he went off like over 100 yards. Tyler something or other, number 10, and he was just cooking everybody. So, but again, from a team standpoint, it's certainly not a good look that second corner isn't completely solidified.
Right.
But I think the guys are there that they have to choose from. So it's going to be fine. They may, thank you, Ruben. It's Tyler Scott. So do give some respect to that dude. He was trying to make his roster last night. But yeah, again, not completely worried, a little concerned maybe, but I think between Joshua and Jalen, that they'll be fine, I think, at the corner. And actually, both of them are going to be on the field a lot,
right,
in 3 receiver sets. So,
yep, definitely. All right, I want to get to some of the comments. Kind of going back a little bit. Ken St. Clair, Reese Zamet likely will not make the 53.
Hold on. If you mess with the comments, it's going to mess with the video.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So basically, I'll read them.
Yeah,
and we'll do it that way. Sorry, guys. We're working on the fly here because we don't have all of our normal resources, so I apologize. Ken St. Clair said Reese Zamet will likely not make the 53. What happens with him? Would he take a practice team spot or take up his rugby career again? This is what I'm told. He's not going back to rugby. I don't think he's going to be added to a 53-man roster, so I think he'll be on the practice squad. He really likes in the Kansas City. I think his family's already here. And I don't know if they're planning.
They were at the game. They were at the game.
They've been at all the games so far. So I think that that bodes well. They'll figure something out. But I don't think he'll go sign with another team. I don't think he can get on an active roster. He has a place on this team at some point. But I'm not sure if it's going to be this year or next year.
Yeah, it certainly would be a lot for him to expect to just walk in and just wow the league, right? I mean, it's going to take a bit. So I don't think his thought process was, well, hell, if I don't make the 53, I'm going to move on. I think he's going to give it at least a full calendar year and reassess maybe next off season if it doesn't work out here.
Right. And Ken also mentions, would they consider bringing McKinnon back? I'm told that if they feel like they need that, that spark on the offense, he already knows the playbook. He could come in and he's in shape from what I understand. So he didn't sign with anybody else. This is kind of one of those guys that's either going to sign with the Chiefs or sign nowhere.
Let's break the internet, or at least Chiefs fans.
Sorry.
How about we give that slot to the young Joka? I'm serious. I'm dead serious. If he can, if
Lou is not giving up. Lou said I am not giving up.
If they can trust him in pass pro, which is a big if, he could be pretty electric in that role, because certainly he's going to be able to run those quick routes out of the backfield and do all the other things that Jet did. But that's the big if. Would he hold up in pass protection when needed? So, but I that would be an intriguing way for them to keep him on the roster, as keep him as a running back, kick returner.
They did that in camp. I did that in their first week or two of camp. They had him back there in the backfield, and listen, everybody, we all agree we're going to talk this to death. Vahe Gregorian wrote an article today, and pretty much said the writing's on the wall. He probably won't make the roster, but he has so much talent, and it's just a matter of, to me, how much he wants to play, the desire to play. He has a lot of distractions. They threw a lot of pressure on him. They gave him unrealistic expectations last year, and he struggled. And the same with Sky Moore. The same thing happened. They put a lot on them. That's why I think they're hesitant with, with Xavier Worthy. They want to make sure they don't make the same mistakes. Rashee Rice took time to develop. But I'm with you, Lou. I think it's a terrific idea. It makes a lot of sense. They tried that a couple of times. They tried that on that screen and had, Justin Ross just blocked the guy. Kadarius Toney would have scored. He almost had a touchdown pass on a terrific throw that just got tipped at the last second.
Yeah, you would have liked this on that particular play. You would have liked for him to kind of come back towards the ball, maybe get an interference call. But yeah, I mean, he showed that he can in fact. I'm sorry, the coach isn't here. Showed that he can in fact catch the ball. He had a couple catches, and he did get loose on the.
We're talking about 2 catches. I'm acting like coach. I'm acting like coach.
Yeah, right. Well, we get that. Yeah, but the point is that he was out there doing his thing. He played. Again, you can't take a ton from it because, again, it was the competition. But he had to go out there and just, again, whatever he's got to work out, rust, injury, work, whatever. He did it.
Okay.
That's not saying that he will make the team, but I said this would be a unique way to keep him on the roster.
So whose spot he's taking?
It would probably be Prince and or Clyde. If Clyde goes on the NFI or the non-football injury list, then I could see Toney being like the running back 3 or just bring him in situationally.
Right. But me watching Toney, I was there yesterday. Seen him like he was open on.
Yeah, did we bury the lead? Hensley was on the sideline, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Send me those photos,
he was open most of the game. It was just who was playing quarterback, man, and we seen that yesterday. That you thank God that you got Patrick Mahomes in your back pocket right about now.
And coaches see that. I mean, they're watching film. I mean, they're not saying looking for he didn't have any catches, or they just look at the stat sheet. They're going to see, is he running the right route? Is he making himself available to the quarterback? Is he blocking when he's supposed to block?
Like that pass down the sideline. Y'all couldn't see off camera, but he was wide open for at least 30 seconds. Waving
maybe
his
not
hands.
that long, but yeah, I
get what you're saying. To me, it seems like it was 30 seconds. But the
because
kid ran out the pocket.
He's probably waving for the ball, like, "Hey, man, it's me."
But did he see him at the last minute, and then he lobbed it up there? Then it got
too late. Yeah,
it was too late.
And that guy still just barely got his fingers on it.
Yeah, I want to get to a couple other comments. Casey Will, Toney might be open, but Mahomes doesn't trust him at all. Well, we'll see. Casey Will also says, they should probably cut Hilaire. I don't think they're going to cut him, but I think they're going to work something out to where he's not on the active roster to begin the season. Listen, talent's there. He's just got to want it. And maybe this is a wake-up call for him. But, I'd say it's less than 50%. He's going to make the final cut. I think the Chiefs are going to make at least two trades.
Be the only way he makes it. As a pure receiver, probably not.
No. As a gimmick guy like McKinnon, yes. It's possible, but again, who do they not keep 4 tight ends, which they're going to have to do, just because of the offense they do. They're going to have to keep at this point 7 wide receivers. I don't think 6 is going to be enough. I think there's a couple guys they don't want to lose, unless we'll get to this after the factor cap, but unless Nico doesn't make this football team, and so I hate to be Andy Reid. I tweeted last night. I mean, Chiefs have some really great talent at wide receiver position. Yeah. They've got 7, 8, 9 guys that can make.
So they got to keep. They can't hire Justin Ross on the practice squad no more.
No, I don't. I think Justin Ross is going to stay. But there's so much talent there. The other kid from Clemson, had another great game.
Cornell Powell
had a great game. Washington, who I really like. Was that catch, man? Get up! I want it. He went upstairs, climbed the ladder.
He had some good tape when he played in Denver as a returner, and then whenever he did get a chance as a receiver. I mean, it's not like the guy's not produced, even in a small fashion in the NFL. So all these guys have skills. They're all good players, right?
Right.
Can any of them elevate? Do you see an upside with any of them? Where Washington, he's probably where he's going to be. If you still think that Ross is still scratching the surface in terms of learning how to be a professional, Kareem, this is for you. Learning where he's supposed to line up,
Right.
all that stuff.
It happened again last night, though. I was there on
so I don't know.
It happened again.
Does he have a learning disability? Is he not hearing the plays? What
he said a learning disability.
What's happening there? Well, I mean, he's been in the offense long enough, and if he hears something, he should probably know where he's supposed to be. But hey, it didn't happen, and whatever McCall was saying to him didn't register either. So they had to burn a timeout. But I stand by that with Tony, and he could also be, again, if they want to be creative with their roster slots, he could be the seventh receiver if they actually have to have him, and also be McKinnon and be a kick returner. So they could use him in a number of ways, and it won't take up extra roster spots.
Yeah. Well, time will tell. We'll find out by.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll find out by this weekend. I think
it's dicey at best.
Yeah. There's already been a couple of trades. I've heard rumblings for the Chiefs that, there's probably 2 or 3 guys on the roster that they like to get a late round draft pick, a 6 or 7. I think guys like Tony, I think Sky Moore to some degree, depending on, how he falls once they really look at the receiver position. Derek Nottie, who came back last night for his first game, played a little bit in the second half, obviously looked rusty. The Chicago Bears are desperate for a nose tackle right now, and would not be shocked if he was traded to the Bears. I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just putting the pieces together because I think Lovett Jr. is a guy the Chiefs really, really like. He's a big boy out there, and I think with what they have at the defensive tackle position, I think going young there, I think they could survive.
Well,
yeah, and I see
Ryan Poles being very familiar with his roster. I mean, he
knows Derek very well.
And I love it. And speaking of Lovett, I think he played very well on the run, on running some being there on the run gaps and everything else. But yes, there's going to be actually we're not looking for starters because we already know who the starters is. We're looking for them guys who are going to fill in the gap. But it's one guy, that was out there shining, and everybody accused me of giving the man the golden jacket before, and then there was Jaden Hicks. Number 21. They said that, they said it was the man crush. It was the curly hair. It was I don't know. But the guy, I feel like I told you, I said the guy reminded me of Brian Dawkins when I first seen him play in college. But the kid, like everybody's saying, with Louis Riddick and everybody else.
I was surprised he was on the field as much as he was yesterday.
Because how did he fall to the Chiefs? And here he is.
They've seen enough, no question. I mean, he's at this level the whole spring, the whole summer. So you would have thought there was other guys that they could have put in that they wanted to take a look at. So that I was like, he's done his thing. We know who he is. We know what he is. Let's go ahead and take him off the field now.
All right.
But yeah, he's done nothing but impress everyone.
All right, let's get to Factor. We got a new edition of Factor Cap. So
strike up the band. Do we have the band? All right. Let's go, gang. You know what time it is. It's Friday, and for this edition of Factor Cap, we've got a lot of interesting little tidbits here. And if you haven't been here for it before, I'm going to read a statement. And you get to decide, is it fact or is it cap? And you can weigh in the comments if you like. Play at home, no wagering though. Wagering is encouraged. It's legal now, so you can go ahead and bet if you want. All right, so I had to rephrase this one because I know exactly which way it was going to go, but I did this, before last night's game. So anyway, there are 2 rookies in the NFL whose names sound like they should be like back in the day they called them matinee idols, right? actors' names. And those two guys are Bo Nix and Carson Steele, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to have that name, especially as an actor?
Yeah.
All right, Hense, I think maybe we can tone the band down a little bit.
Let's kill the music.
So anyway, here's the statement. And this is where everybody's going to lose their minds. Actually, Bo Nix is a cooler name than Carson Steele.
No.
Hensley, Factor Cap.
Hensley, you go.
I'll say that's Cat. That Carson Steele is like the man of the steel, Superman. You know what I mean?
We're just talking about his name now, all right? We got you. Yeah, go ahead.
It's that comic book character name. That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's Remington Steele's grandson, so I'm no.
There you go.
Bo Nix
For those of you under 50, Pierce Brosnan, again, you still have to be under 50 for that one too. Played a what was he, like a private detective?
He was a private detective. It was kind of it was a great series. Stephanie Powers,
Remington Steele.
No,
so anyway, Bo Nix, that sounds like he would be kind of like an action hero or like a military Green Beret or like a Navy SEAL, right? Whereas Carson Steele, I think, is a lot more versatile. He could be the heartthrob. He could be like Remington Steele. He could be the American James Bond, right? Steele. Carson Steele, right? Come on now. It's not even close, but I couldn't do it the other way because then everybody's glazing. All right. Next one. The NFL obviously has become so popular worldwide now, and it just seems to gain popularity every single year. The statement is this, is that actually fantasy football has been the biggest catalyst to the NFL's popularity and the breadth of that popularity. Hensley, Factor Cap.
I would say that's a fact. Because a lot of people are more searching to the numbers of the player instead of actually watching the game. They watching for numbers. They rooting against their own team for somebody else on the other sideline to score, for they can get more 7 points or to win their fantasy league.
Yep.
That's why I don't play them. So I'll say it's a fact.
Gotcha. Nick.
Fact. I think that correlates to the popularity. I mean, I play fantasy football just as an enjoyment. I've been in those money leagues, and it's cutthroat, man. It's savage country, and it's so popular. I mean, back in the day when they first came out, we'd go to sports bars and we would have draft boards like you saw, on NFL draft day, and we had baristas serving us alcohol, and we were trading picks and just having a good old time. But the popularity of fantasy football, I think, is elevated football to a level to where that's why there's the Sunday ticket charges as much as it is. That's why this is a global popularity. And for the record, we will be having a Chiefs Blitz fantasy football team. I'm going to get with Mango, and we're going to organize it. And we're going to invite people to come on in. Time's ticking. You gotta go. I'm one of these late guys. I don't do it till after the 53-man rosters are done. Yeah, this is not my style. Yeah, I have a draft this week on Saturday for one of my leagues, and then the following Saturday in my other league, and it's all in person. Both leagues. I've been in one of the leagues over 20 years. And the other one has been over 30 years. So, and it's in person. So like you said, we get together, and it's pretty cool thing. But my point is that gambling has always been around, right? So every game is an opportunity, whereas with fantasy football, every player is an opportunity. So every game is going to get watched. You could have the two worst teams playing in the NFL on TV, but people are still going to watch because they want to see their fantasy guys put points on the board. So I'm absolutely in on this, and not going to change my mind there. That's a fact for sure. Yeah. All right. So a lot of noise this week from some, I don't know if you call them professional
flag football players, but Team USA, flag football, is going to be in the Olympics in 2028. And there's all these veiled comments and commercials showing NFL players kind of promoting it and guys openly talking about playing in the Olympics. So here you got, I think his last name is Doucette, the quarterback of USA, the USA national team. And I could respect when he said it was disrespectful to just believe these guys are just going to come in and take over, even though in the back of my mind, my thought is you give these guys about a day or two to figure out like the different rules. None of those guys playing now are making the team. Okay. But then he doubles down. And says about Patrick Mahomes is that I'm better than him. Something about IQ for the game and how he sees the field. Dude, come on. You had your 15 minutes and then you had to like jump the shark, right? I mean, Fonzie jumping the shark. What are you doing? So the statement is this. Yes, it will take about a day or two of NFL guys working out before it's like dead obvious that every position should be taken from an NFL player.
I'll say it'll take within an hour that they'll be there to take over. You know what I mean? Because there ain't know the rules of the NFL. They know the rules of the game right now. So all you're doing is taking off the pads and throwing on flags. So that's, you know what I mean? So I feel like with the statement what the guy made, I understand that you are out here, setting up for yourself and trying to let your name be known. But hey, sometimes you gotta go cut the ankles off of the king and see if he falls. But Patrick Mahomes didn't fall because he had a good comeback.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'll say that it's Cap.
Yeah, Cap to me. Patrick Mahomes will be the starting quarterback in 2028 for the flag football team for Team USA. He wants it bad. He's already talked about it. The Olympics is going to want him. The sponsors are going to want him. At that point, he'll be 33 years old. Listen, I love the kid's moxie. It is, I was a flag football player. I get it. I was actually a wide receiver, believe it or not. And I loved it because I didn't want to get hit and all that. But to say that they won't figure it out.
Nick playing the diva position.
I played the diva position, and yeah, I was good too. When I was younger, I had some speed. I had great hands. I'd go up for the ball. The ball was near me. It was mine. That was my mentality. So I was never just.
All due respect to the guys that play on the national team, they would have no shot. If they were that good, they could be playing in the NFL, making millions of dollars. So that's not happening. The only controversial piece of this, I think, and maybe not controversial, but in terms of the NFL, of course you want your players out there, but then the teams, like the owners. I mean, do you really want your $70 million a year quarterback going out and playing flag football? That's gonna be a weird one, right? And where it's like, yeah, you want to see him, and I'm sure the guys want to play. Hey, it's the Olympics, let's get a medal. Like NBA players, all these other professional leagues, they all play. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in 4 years.
Can I say one more thing to give them? Flag football was designed for guys like this young man, and for people like me who weren't the physical, weren't super athletes. It was just meant to, hey, let's go compete as if we were the same. We know we're not. Let's just go out and have fun. So the design of it and the spirit of it was for guys like that. I'm not defending his comments because I think they're utterly wrong, but Kareem's giving me crap too. Quit lying, Nick. They didn't even have flags back in your day. They had flags, dude. Trust me. Yeah, they were crappy flags.
I remember.
I like to add this. It's a way, and also he, after what he said, he dropped his highlights, and his highlights went viral. So it's getting NFL the teams to look at him and say, hey, put me on the scouting squad or something.
He was good until he called Patrick out. Then it was just like, okay, come on, put your highlights out, get your name out there. That's
the way to get it out. So then coach is going to say, oh, he said he's better than Patrick. Let's see what this kid can do. And his highlights
Well, I think most coaches are thinking, no, if anybody was that good, we'd know about it, right? All right, so this one is a little different. It's a little like old school coaching versus new school coaching style. I mean, the internet was like blowing up over the last week. Tua was on with Dan Le Batard down in South Florida. Dan Le Batard, formerly of ESPN, done radio shows, done all sorts of different things. He's kind of like the godfather down there in South Florida. And he even said that, Tua, when he was first got there, wouldn't have done an interview like this. But now he's kind of come into his own. He got paid. But he basically said that, what would you feel like if every day, first thing in the morning, somebody was telling you that you sucked and you didn't belong here, and this other guy, Justin Herbert, maybe should have been there, and all this other stuff. And so it's got like this huge debate. You've got these the tough love or negative reinforcement coaches versus Mike McDaniel, who came in and told him he was great and the perfect fit for his offense, right, and it unlocks his game. Which reminded me of a quote, and this is going to be the statement, and this was from Herm Edwards many years ago when he was talking about coaching players. I'm not going to coach you all the same, but I am going to coach you all fairly. So, agree, disagree. Is that fact? Is that something that should be done, or Cap should not?
I say Cap. You ain't coaching everybody fairly. You want to get in everybody's butt. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna some guys you already see they got talent, and some guys don't need coaching. They already got the heart for it, and they got the heart for it to go out there and ball out. They're always going to be always showing up to the practice early, the games early. Shoot, they even beat the coach there sometimes early. But if you got a guy that's lacking and slacking, then you want to get in his butt. You got to do a little different. So
right. So you agree with Herm?
Yes.
You're not going to coach everybody the same. Everybody gets motivated a different way.
No. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously, I'm still friends with Herm today, and I watched him coach, and I was there every day, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't treat them all. They were different. He had some personalities that were this and other personalities that were that. I go back to a guy like Willie Roaf. The guy was, injured, and he said, "Hey, Nick, I can only practice him maybe a half a day, during the week, but he goes out there on Saturday and he plays his lights out." So he coached him different than he would have Tony Gonzalez, who was a workout warrior practice wise. So, I'm with you. I'm with Lou on that. I mean, I'm with
yeah, and I think it's kind of bearing out where, again, it's a generational thing too. I think as kids kind of flow through the system, and a lot of the coaches are a little bit more positive and being a little bit more understanding of what each guy needs. You look at it, who doesn't want to play for McVay or McDaniel or O'Connell? You still get, to your point, Hense, you still, when the guy needs a kick in the ass, yes, absolutely. But some guys don't respond to that so well, so you don't want to lose them, so to speak. So let me get to that. Was an interesting point.
Let me get to something that Ruben said. Why, in your opinion, why is Tua even bringing this up? Why is it even necessary?
He did not bring it up. Okay, he didn't bring it up specifically. Le Batard asked him basically, "What's the difference from when you came in?" And now all of a sudden you came in and it didn't look very good, and now you're like one of those quarterbacks that just got paid. So that's what he was just trying to give him some insight in what the difference was mostly mentally and emotionally versus what he was able to or not able to do physically.
Gotcha.
So, all right, last one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now we're going to go NFC because I know how this is going to go AFC-wise. So I was looking at the offensive weapons and the skill positions for a bunch of different NFC teams, right? And I'm trying to get an idea. Well, who's got the best skill position players? So if you got the pictures there, Hense, we'll look at Philadelphia. You got Jalen Hurts. Saquon, the Reaper, not pictured A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. They just traded for Jahan Dotson, another Penn State guy, former first-round pick. But so you've got that group. How about Detroit? We got Goff at quarterback, St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs, Laporta at tight end. So, again, really strong offensive group there. And then you got San Francisco with Purdy and McCaffrey and Debo and probably Ayuk. We'll see. And George Kittle. Great group, right? Then you got the Packers. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, not pictured there. Romeo Doubs, Jaden Daniels. I mean, you got a bunch of receivers there. I think that's the tight end, Luke Musgrave. So great offensive weapons there. Last one, the Rams. You got Stafford, Puka, Kupp. Not sure who the tight end is. So, but that, number 89, let's say that. And then the running back, Kyron Williams, who was one of the league's leading rushers last year. So the statement is this. After all that, Detroit actually has the best offensive weapons in the NFC. Fact or cap? Hense.
I would say cap. I would say in the NFC. So if you're looking at it, the
not
ones
the best
you have
team, the best offensive weapons
in the NFC, correct?
Yeah, those five. Or if you have a better one, yeah, go ahead.
I would say it has to be the Chicago Bears. if you look at, they got Caleb Williams, they got DJ Moore, they got Keenan Allen, they got Roma Doomsday, and and then they got an up and coming tight end. So I would have to say the Chicago Bears. For me.
Wow. Off the board.
Boy, I don't want to show my bias here. I want to look at this logically. I think if Ayuk is there for San Francisco, but I think the Eagles, to me, have the best combination of everything. But they're not my Super Bowl pick, and so. But to answer your question, I would say Eagles a slight edge over the 49ers as far as offense, but I like the Bears too. I think the Bears offense is special.
So cap there. I'm going to go fact. I really like the just the mixture of Detroit's group. Goff is, to me, is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
one thing that you worry about him, in weather, outdoors. I think they play maybe 2 games all year outside.
That's crazy.
Which is going to be a huge help for them, especially, late in the year. Now, in the playoffs, that's going to change. But in terms of just the integrity, I don't know if there's a wrong answer here among the 5.
Right.
The Bears, I just didn't want to throw a rookie quarterback in there because I think that's where the big difference is, with Chicago. The receivers, running back, we're okay. DeAndre Swift hasn't put together a full season yet in the NFL, so I would kind of step off from that piece too.
Talented.
But any of these 5, I would say it's really, really close. But I'm going to say fact. I'm going to go with Detroit here.
All right.
That's going to do it for this week, folks. Thanks for playing along. Factor cap.
Kareem mentioned he's one with the Cowboys. All right, Kareem.
Oh,
that was Factor Cap, brought to you by Emily. So if you need any health insurance, give her a call. So that was Factor Cap. We see you guys. Hey, so, before we get into the next topic, let's go ahead and get right into our sponsors, guys.
If you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor, someone who's going to help you get through the process of either buying or selling a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody better than this man. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
Absolutely. Proud sponsor of Chiefs Who. And if you're looking for success in the health coverage industry, you need to call somebody that I love very much, care about, and knows their stuff. And that's my wife, Emily Athan. You can reach her 913-215-9086. If you're looking for flexible health coverage, whether you're an individual, self-employed, business owner, or part of a family, look no further. Even if you want a free consult, she's happy to help you out. So give her a call today. She can explain all the plans that are available, including access to a nationwide PPO network. So give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
I like it. I like to record stuff. I don't have to do it over and over again. I love it.
Nick had a wardrobe change.
Yeah, a wardrobe change. I got my Living Cool shirt on today. So
go ahead. Before we jump into the story time with Nick, we're going to go ahead and get go jump back into the 53-man roster. So, seeing the game last night, going over the guys that you think are already going to make the team. What's your final spots on this 53-man roster that you have for us today, Nick?
Ooh. Let's see. For me, it would be Nico Remigio, Ethan Driscoll, Fabian Lovett, and Kelvin Joseph's over Nick Jones.
A lot of veterans losing their spots there, Nick.
Yeah,
I think it looks that way. I did this, I don't know, at least a week ago. So at that point, I had Clyde going on NFI and Steele is running back 3, but I think he's going to be running back 2. Mm-hmm. And maybe the third back is yet to be on this team. Or, like I said earlier, they might get a unique way to have Tony on the team.
Right.
My thought was that maybe Rice wouldn't be here at the beginning of the year, but obviously it looks like he will. So that's cool. And those top 4, are pretty much in stone, in Rice, Brown, Worthy, Watson. The rest, again, it's kind of iffy here, and Tony would be that guy that would be kind of the wild card. I would still have him on there.
I got you.
And I would have Ross. And if it is Tony, if they go with Tony, then maybe that knocks Nico out. And Sky Moore would also make the team.
All right.
Offensive line. Again, Driscoll, I think since he was Chief Who, that seems to be an indicator. There was a lot of them on the field last night. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if you've been following along, you know why. But Driscoll, he's a big dude. He's got a motor. He can get to the second level at 6'8" or 6'9". So I think they probably like him as a project. Mm-hmm. It depends, again, if they want to keep a rookie to be that extra left or right tackle. So Wanye, depending on the severity of his injury, we'll see. I mean, Coach Reed didn't seem to be that that worried about it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, everybody else seems to be pretty much who you would think. I think maybe Herring and Truman Jones, probably that might be an either or situation. Mm-hmm. The inside guys, Jones, Pennell. I have Noddy still on the team, and this was a week ago. I don't know if he gets traded. So we'll see. Turk Wharton, and then I had Farrell. Linebackers, I do have Jacobs and Jones making it over Christensen. The corners, I don't know. Like I said, I did this a while ago, and it seemed like Kelvin Joseph was in there. I don't know if he is. Maybe he is. Haddon, I had him on the 53, and then I had Nazi. Actually, I have him at the safety position, along with Reed, Cook, Hicks, and then Dion Bush, perhaps. So that's kind of where I'm at. Again, there's a handful that are fluid, and I don't know if any of consequence. So again, I don't have McCole on there, and Nico may not fit if they do the Tony experiment. If they don't, then certainly Nico would have that spot.
Right. I want to answer. Let's see. Kareem wants to know what our thoughts are on cornerback. Let me give you the list of what I have. I've got them keeping 7. I've got Trent McDuffie, Williams, Ishmael Johnson, Jalen Watson, Connor Shamar, and Kamal Hadden. Those are my 7. I've got Kelvin Joseph maybe off at the moment.
7 corners?
Well,
there's got to be a position that you shorted then. Right?
I did short a position. So I shorted defensive end, and I only carried 5 linebackers, not 6.
Okay.
So I just think they're going to need these corners because they don't have that definitive answer at this point. Mango's joining us from over the pond,
Yes.
and can certainly get his thoughts as well. But I think that definitely, they
for my
go ahead.
53. I have Patrick Mahomes as number 1 as a quarterback. Then I have
whoa.
No.
You got Patrick at 1?
Wow.
I got the Chiefs carrying 2 quarterbacks. Calgary, Patrick Mahomes,
Mango,
and
all
Wentz.
the way from what? Where you do you live in Manchester?
So, good guess. Not too far.
Okay. Well,
Thanks for entering, Mango. But hey, I was going over my 53 guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You
Do your
distracted
thing,
me,
man.
Well, Patrick Mahomes and Carson Wentz are the 2 quarterbacks. I had the Chiefs carrying 3 running backs: Isaiah Pacheco, Prince, and Carson Steele, and putting CDH on IR. And then I have the Chiefs carrying 7 wide receivers: Rasheed Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Nico Hartman. Nico, I got him making a roster: Justin Walston, Justin Ross, or Scott Moore, or Tony, or someone else via trade. With that last spot on the roster for the receivers. And a tight end, I have Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and Jared Wally. I had the Chiefs carrying 9 offensive linemen. Kingsley.
Oh, we lose you? You're cutting out on us, buddy.
Oh, there you lose me.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're back.
I said I had the Chiefs carrying 10 offensive linemen, and I have the starting 5. Then I have the Chiefs carrying I think 6 defensive linemen. I was trying to go back in my list, but it's going to keep cutting me off. So
no, it's okay.
Right in front of me. Mango.
Yeah, so that's interesting. The last thing I want to say is I forgot Shamari Connor. I should have Connor over Deion Bush. But I think the reason I'm only keeping 5 corners is that you've got Nazi and Connor that could probably play both. Yep. And in a pinch, I don't think there's anything Jaden Hicks can't do on the field. So I think he could probably in a pinch. So you got a lot of versatility there. So 5 and 5 there in terms of DBs, corner and safety.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Mango. Can you go over my list? I'm working on my last. If you have it on you, I sent it to you.
Whereabouts were you? I'll pull it up.
Because I was on the offensive lineman. I couldn't really get their names down pat because they keep.
Who are the conspirators?
What's that?
Are you familiar with the band Guns N' Roses?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you know Slash, the lead guitarist.
Yes.
This is his solo band.
That's a solo band, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
I love him, man. He's so good. He's such
incredible. I saw him earlier this year. He was very good live.
Incredible. Some of the acoustic stuff that he does, I've seen some videos. My gosh, man, it's just brilliant what he could do with an acoustic guitar too.
Absolutely. So Hense's offensive line was Kingsley, Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Juwan Taylor, Wanye Morris, Lucas Niang, Hunter Norzad, and Mike Caliendo.
And what about the D line? I didn't get to see that either.
You had George Karloftis, Mike Dana, Chris Jones, Deshaun Wharton, Derek Nardi, Mike Pennell, Felix, Neil Farrell, Malik Herring, and Truman Jones.
And cornerback and DBs, and we done.
You had 10 DBs, which I think is pretty wild. You've got Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, Jamari Connor, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Jaden Hicks, Nazi Johnson, Kamal Haddon, and then you've put Kelvin Joseph or Xavier Howard, parentheses, or someone else via trade.
Okay, is it just me, or can we just have Mango read the phone book and be completely entertained?
Yeah, we're going on the fly here, guys. We've had some technical issues.
The accent just gets me all the time. I mean, we don't hear it every day, of course, so it's just it's so refreshing.
Love it. All right.
So those are the 53s.
Did Mango give his list?
Who would you say of the guys that you have on your 53 heads? Who would you say is like in the biggest trouble?
The biggest it's got to be Tony. Tony.
So you had him on there, okay?
Yeah, Tony. Scott Moore, or I had Justin Watson. Not Justin, but Jalen Watson at cornerback, and one of those two. Because I really feel like the Chiefs, from what I was seeing yesterday, they really like this. They really like the kid Taylor, man. They really do. They really do like the guy that from Dallas that they got over here, and he played in Kentucky. They really, from what I was hearing, they had
Joseph is the one from
Joseph. Dallas, I meant to say Joseph
in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, Joseph. They had their eyes on him. From what I was hearing, they had his eyes on him since when he got drafted, and he fell to the second round to the Cowboys. So I feel like they got him, and they feel like he's probably their quarterback number 2. That's why I was kind of hearing yesterday. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. To me, one of the rookies. I mean, granted, hadn't picked up a fumble and scored yesterday, or didn't score, but whatever. I don't know if I've seen enough from my perspective. I don't have the film and the from the practices and everything else. So just based on what we saw in the games, the lack of playing time and just really not seeing much. Now, I'm not saying he can't play, but if you're making decisions, that's going to be a tough one. You mentioned Keith Taylor from another Washington DB. I think he played with McDuffie at some point up there. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but they have had a history of putting a lot of pretty solid DBs in the league.
He was a very good cornerback at Washington.
So if he makes the team, then I think that's where Haddon might be in a little bit of trouble, or Kelvin Joseph, not what Hense said, notwithstanding, just based on watching them play. Now, obviously, he's got the experience. He's been around the block and so on. But when you see second and third teamers picking on a guy, that tells me something. What the rest of the league might think of him. So, I would say those guys for sure. Maybe Caliendo, I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably the most experienced guy that can kind of swing between the two guards and center spots. So
they need him.
Do they like Norzad more than him, and he can kind of take over that role? So that makes room for an Ethan Driscoll. That's that might be the tipping point there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mango. Give us your thoughts.
Well, I was just going to say, Ethan Driscoll's a fucking monster. I mean, if you've seen him run down the sideline during that block, I think it was against
Thundering Herd, baby.
That's right, Marshall man.
A one-man herd.
He's insane.
Yeah, I think they have. The problem with the offensive line for the Chiefs is, obviously we know the 5 starters. Thuney's going to be there. Sue Mateo is going to be the left tackle. Creed Humphrey, who we haven't talked about.
All the backups are inexperienced.
Yeah, all the backups. There's no experience. I mean, Wanye Morse seems like, from what I was told this morning, he's okay. He'd probably be ready. I think this is an area in which the Chiefs are going to add a veteran offensive tackle at some point. Driscoll, they could probably stash on the practice squad, though. I give him a year. or so. A solid off season, getting a few reps this year. Maybe if they activate him, if he's eligible, he could be a really good tackle backup for Kansas City for a long time. And I think with Morris, the jury's still out. I still say Morris could be a better guard than tackle just because of his girth. Yeah. He won't have to move as much. Creed Humphrey just got his 72 million, 50 million guaranteed contract for 4 years. So he's through 2029, I think, 25, 26 or some 28. He'll be 29 years old when his next contract is up. He's still young. We're getting him in his prime. Expect Trey Smith to get signed soon. That's a rumble. But they don't have anything. And I don't know if Donovan Smith is the answer. I mean, he really struggled at times last year. He was injured. But look for Brett Veach to make an addition of some kind or make a trade for a backup tackle. I think that's inevitable at this point for the 53-man roster.
I said it last time, and we just, I guess, always took Allegretti for granted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had to do what he had to do. Obviously, he wants to go start. That was the move for him. It was never going to happen for him here in Kansas City, but he was just kind of an invaluable tool, if you would, that at any time during any game, he could go in and play any one of the 5 positions and get you through a game, maybe even 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but looking at that 53-man roster, it will be out pretty soon. But also what's out pretty soon is story time with Nick. What you have for us today, sir?
Well, tomorrow marks the 2-year anniversary of the passing of my childhood hero, Mr. Lenny Dawson. I knew Lenny for 50 years, was in business with him on a venture, and met him when I was 6 years old for the first time. And throughout the years, and when I was doing War Paint Illustrated, we got to spend a lot more time together. And he always shook my hand. He always asked me how my family was doing. And a 1 or 2 minute conversation would turn into 30, 40 minutes talking about the past. He loved talking about the Super Bowl IV teams. He loved the camaraderie, the fact they were close. This picture here is my favorite Lenny Dawson picture. Smoking the cigarette and drinking the Fresca, and that was in Super Bowl.
Fresca, very
Super
underrated.
Bowl I
beverage.
in the locker
very
room.
underrated beverage.
Fresca was great. Fresca was best.
Still get it.
Best. Yeah,
still get it.
So I think for me, I wanted something to bridge the gap, and this collectible was I had about 15 to 30 seconds to decide, because there are only 16 of them made. But this is a print signed by Len Dawson and Patrick Mahomes. What's notable here, this was kind of right after the Super Bowl. Lenny was still able to sign. It's a clean signature. His signature's got a little wobbly after this as his health deteriorated. But, Patrick has always shown him a lot of respect. And they're the 2 greatest quarterbacks in the history of the Chiefs. But Lenny, to me, is always going to, just from the personal aspect of it, going to be number 1. So this one I had to get permission from Emily. Can I buy this? And so she gave me the thumbs up. Thank God. It's right above my office, right above my computer on my main wall here. And
times have changed. It's blowing the little heater at halftime, right?
Yeah, things are a little different now. I think, who was the last head coach who was smoking on the sidelines? I'm not sure I remember, but
no.
I remember Jim Leland, the manager of the Detroit Tigers. He was always smoking in the dugout.
He's smoking some all the time.
Who's that?
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, that's right, Nick Sirianni.
Come on, Mango.
But hey, that's my story time today. Again, this is this is one piece I will never get rid of. Hense asked me last week what my favorite piece was. This is my favorite piece. The one over my shoulder with the poster from the Sports Illustrated 69 is just sentimental. But I appreciate the people that put this together, and I'm grateful they called me. I've got 4 of 16, so I chose 4 because of Super Bowl 4. I've got a Super Bowl 4 patch on there, and of course the patch from Super Bowl 54 when Patrick Mahomes won his first many Super Bowls. So that's my most prized possession.
That was story time with Nick, brought to you by Emily. The wife said, "Hey, you can buy this, and you only can get it once, and you can't buy nothing else until it's done." So with that said,
coincidentally, there was like a Gucci purse that came with it.
No, she's not. Hey, listen, guys, I am blessed. I have a wife who doesn't spend money on crazy things, and she's frugal.
Kidding.
No. She does more with less, and I love her for it. You know, this is my only extravaganza. I don't do anything else except buy and sell memorabilia as a hobby. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. But she's giving me a ton of support.
We haven't had any walk-ins, you know. she hasn't like walked in lately.
Well,
what's happening?
Well, tomorrow's her birthday, so you know.
There we go.
I will put a request in to see if she'll walk in next week.
Yeah, just a walk by.
I think we're gonna have 4 shows next week, so I think it'd be good to have her come on.
We should have Emily just raid through the 53-man roster.
You go.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you know what? I will approach that subject for her, or we'll record it, and we can just play it. How's that?
Yeah.
All right.
Better.
Sounds good.
So with that said, man, the 53-man roster will be out pretty soon, and also
Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, 3 o'clock Central Time.
Yep.
And you're probably gonna see a lot more trades. I say via today and over the weekend, you're gonna start seeing more trades, and I'm going to keep an eye for your Kansas City Chiefs to have a trade going on out there. So with that said, guys, great show, guys. Thank you for dealing with us. We had a little technical difficulties today around in our area. You can see Coach ain't on here, and I'm not on. I'm via phone. So with that,
you're
here, Hense. That's a
I mean, I love the whole phone thing.
Stellar shot.
So with that said, guys, have a good weekend, and don't forget to repost the 53 and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys Monday at noon.
Peace out, everybody.